Now recording, Craig. Damn. It's been a minute, Craig. It really has. Well, hello everyone. Hello there. Welcome back to the Believe Me Don't podcast. It's been a few weeks, obviously. If anyone's out there listening. Took a little hiatus due to the birth of the second child. Everything went well. He is born. He is alive. He is thriving. So we out here, Had to readjust to sleep, or the lack of sleep, I guess you would say. So, haven't really been playing a lot of video games due to that. Just trying to stay alive, really, So, yeah, like I said, it's been a few weeks. I don't even remember if I actually posted that last episode right before he was born, to be honest with you. I'd have to go back and check, but I really don't think I did. I had everything ready to go, but I just forgot to post it, so. But basically just wanted to hop on, do an episode, trying to get back to a quote-unquote normalcy, in a sense, if you will, and just update everyone what I've been doing, if I've been playing anything. So, yeah, how's everyone been, Been doing great. I don't know if anyone joined me because I didn't necessarily say anything in the chat. But I did say that we will get back, or I said we will return one day. So hopefully I can start tagging them again, and they'll maybe hop in. And it'd be good to get back to doing some episodes and whatnot. This is probably one of the bigger breaks that we've had in terms of like me having to take a break for like life purposes, not lack of ideas or content in a sense. Because I've definitely wanted to. It's just, those Sundays right before work, it's like, hey, do I stay on for an extra 30, 45 minutes to do an episode, or try to sneak into the bed early enough and, get those few hours before the baby wakes up again. So yeah. Like I said, he's doing well. We're adjusting. Jaden's about to go back to work, so that'll be another hurdle that we'll have to adjust to. I am taking off, so that'll be a little bit easier. And then Jaden's doing good. I'm just tired, And then in all honesty, like, I haven't had the real desire to play anything necessarily new. Because right before he was born, my main goal was to finish up Resident Evil 9 Requiem. And luckily, I did. I, beat the main story, ran through it a few times on insanity difficulty. I did a few of the trophies, and I only lack like one or two of the unlocks and stuff, but I basically got almost 30 hours out of it, which is pretty good for a Resident Evil game, for sure. They did announce that there's a photo mode. I think the photo mode might already be out, but there's a photo mode, and then the mercenary mode is probably the summer, and then a DLC is already happening. We don't know when the mercenary mode, I think they mentioned maybe summer. So once the mercenary mode does come back, I'll probably end up hopping back in just to play it, because that's always fun, and I think this game will be set up pretty well for mercenary mode. And then for the DLC, I imagine it's going to take them close to a year for it. So I'll hang on to the game, obviously, because this is definitely one of the better Resident Evils for sure. So, but yeah, after that, once he came, the only thing I really had any inkling in the back of my mind to check out was going to be Crimson Desert or Sorrows. And then, obviously before that, the Pokemon Day happened and they released Fire Red, and I was slowly playing it. And that's what I've been playing, really. Every night, if I get an hour or two in, I just try to play Fire Red. It's been awesome. I actually did just get through Victory Road and at the Elite Four now. It's taken me almost 30 hours to get there, which is insane. I do not know how we did it back in the day without any guides and just in searching for shit. I did not play Fire Red. I just played the original Red. So it's been awesome to see these features that Fire Red got when on the I think it came on the Advance, Game Boy Advance. Could be wrong. It's been awesome. Updated graphics and everything like that. So some of the story changed, and I think it changed for the better. And then once you beat the Elite Four, there's actually an end game instead of just catching like Mewtwo and then trying to catch all the Pokemon if you could without trading. Well, I mean you can't, but there's an actual end game to it, which is awesome, and you can catch legendaries, and you can catch one of the freaking legendary dogs depending on what starter you got. Luckily, I get my boy Suicune since that shows Charmander. Got to hold on to that Master Ball. If I was a kid, I absolutely would just use the Master Ball on Mewtwo. I'm pretty sure I did back in the day in Fire Red or just Red, which is what you would have done anyways. But for Fire Red, if I would have played it without the guides and stuff, I still would have used it on Mewtwo, I'm sure. Not realizing that the dogs were in the game. So, but yeah, the nostalgia is awesome. I really, I wanted to. This is something I wanted for sure for them to bring older Pokemon games, and I hope they continue to do that, especially with like. I mean, I would love just an original red and blue in like a yellow or something. But at the same time, I understand why they possibly wouldn't do that because of all the quality of life that is just missing. So maybe they would choose to put the remakes. So like next up on the list would be Heart Gold, Soul Silver, which would be awesome from what I've seen. It looks amazing, and I love Gen 2. So that'd be an awesome way to experience it. And they are bringing Pokemon Home to the game eventually. They haven't, I don't think, talked about a release date of it, but that's going to be awesome for people who just, because you can only trade, you don't need the cables since it's a Switch or whatever, you just have to be local, and I don't have anybody that has Leaf Green. So when Home comes, I can use, I think, all the Pokemon I've caught from like Pokemon Go, because it'd be awesome. I've never, in any Pokemon game, got the entire Pokedex, because I've never had a buddy just right beside me to trade or anything like that. So like I got the Pokedex on Legends Z to A, but those type of games are just a single game, So, so it's gonna be awesome. I am gonna try to go through my goal is to get through the Elite Four, become champion or whatever before the end of April. and then just slowly work on the end game, which is essentially going through the Sevi Islands and catching Mewtwo, obviously, catching Suicune, and then you can re-challenge the Elite Four, but at a higher level, which is awesome. And then apparently you can also re-challenge like trainers in the middle of the game, so that's another good way to, level up and whatnot. Since back in those days there was no experience share, there is an experience share for this game, but it's half of what the Pokemon get. So if it was getting 1,000 by itself, you get 500 and then 500 for the other Pokemon. So it's a slow ass grind. Like the new days where basically every Pokemon in your party gets experience, and it's a shitload experience. So I'll never forget back in the day. I don't know if it was red or it might have been gold, or I think I had silver. It was one of those two. I grinded the shit out of it, and I had several level 100 Pokemons, and it was such an awesome feeling to have. I don't know if I'll do that on Fire Red, just because with the internet you can just find the correct Pokemon and just wipe the Elite Four easily. So, which it's awesome. I don't know if it was this way in red or blue that you could get the legendary birds this early, but like for Fire Red, I think it's like badge 3 or 4. As long as you have Surf, you can go get Zapdos, and that's what I did. And then Articuno, on the way to Cinnabar Island, I got him, so before badge 7. And then the story actually makes you go to Mount Ember and get Moltres before you go to fight Giovanni. So that's awesome. You literally have the legendary birds at level 50 before going into the Elite Four, which is insane to me. So I'm sure I'll end up using those. So yeah, it's been awesome. And like I said, I hope they continue to put more older Pokemons. I would love to play. For time's sake, I don't know if I would want to play original Red or Blue. I would love to play Gold or Silver, just the original ones, and the same goes with Ruby and Sapphire, and like Emerald. But from what I've saw, the quality of life that Soul Silver and Heart Gold gives, I would probably prefer to play it that way as well. So hopefully they continue to do that. So yeah, that's basically what I've been playing. And then for whatever reason, I decided to download Spider-Man 2. It was on PlayStation Plus, grabbed it, and started playing it because I loved the first Spider-Man that Insomniac did. Like I've loved all the Insomniac Spider-Man games, even from like the PlayStation days. Those were awesome. But the Spider-Man on the PS4 was awesome. And then I played Miles Morales. It was great. And now, spoiler alert, it's like 3 years old, but you're getting to play as both of them, and it's awesome. And then I was just like, I need to kind of focus on one game, so I decided to just really focus on Fire Red until I'm at least out of the Elite Four and maybe into the in-game stuff before I go back to, say, Spider-Man. And then, like I said, the only other 2 games that were on my radar was Crimson Desert and Saros. Crimson Desert came and it had some pretty good reviews, honestly. But the biggest complaint was the story wasn't there. The main character is somebody you don't necessarily connect with, but it's also a massive game. Like, I'm talking 80 hours plus, and that's just not even completing everything. and I just didn't want to invest in something, especially if it doesn't have those hooks into me like an Elden Ring did. Which I hated Elden Ring, but I loved it at the same time because of the difficulty and things like that. They've made some awesome updates to Crimson Desert. They're listening to the feedback and everything. That's wonderful for anybody who just wants to hop into a world and just get lost. So I highly doubt I ever play it. I'm glad it exists, and I hope it competes for Game of the Year with like Resident Evil 9 and whatnot. But I probably won't end up playing it. And then the next one being Soros. It actually comes out in 4 days. I just don't know if I'll play it. Reviews are already out, and basically, if you loved Returnal, you're gonna love this. It's a slightly different vibe because of the mechanics that they have built in, and they're trying to tell an actual story, unlike Returnal. Like Returnal was weird because it was more of a roguelite, and you were just trying to run through shit, and like it had some story beats, but it was just you were just existing in a sense. And now with Soros, they're actually trying to put cinematics and things like that. And so if I get it, if I have a chance to play it, I probably will, because I love Returnal. I love everything that Housemarque has already done with Resogun being like my first PS4 game. I played the shit out of that. Played with Kiwi a lot. Played Nex Machina. And then I did Returnal last year. So it's unfortunate that it's not. I don't think it's coming to PC. I would love to play it as co-op. But, it's whatever. Sony's been making some dumbass decisions. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been sticking out. And then I've been really trying to meet up with Aaron or Black Hammer and play Grounded 2. They came out with their newest update, and it looks awesome. A lot of features in it, and a new boss that looks awesome. I want to get into it again. Just play those few hours. And I keep trying to push it to Kiwi, but I know he wants to kind of wait until 1.0, which is understandable. And I do think with everything that they've changed from Grounded 1, he's going to love it. But I don't think 1.0, it won't be here for at least another, I'm saying 2027 minimum before it gets here, which is fine. It would basically be in early access for a year and a half if they do it that way. They still got a lot of quality of life. I wouldn't even say a lot of quality of life, but like a few. And the biggest one being zip lines, because of how big the park is. Zip lines need to be there. Either zip lines or come up with a new transportation system, which they kind of have it in a sense of the tunnels, but they don't all connect. So I think zip lines would be great. Maybe even a flying buggy, like if you get on a wasp and shit. I don't know how well that would go with the engine and people's computers and stuff, but could be interesting. So yeah, trying to meet up with Black Hammer to do Grounded 2. It's just hard to find time. Literally, we were going to play last night, and for just struck down, the literal power goes out. And like, it's not even that we had a storm or anything. The power goes out for 4.5 hours, and we had to go. We had to go to the in-laws and stay the night because of that. And it was so unfortunate because I was legit ready to play, had it downloaded and everything like that. So we'll get there eventually. We kind of, he and I took a pretty big hiatus from COD. It's just not the same anymore. It's not hitting, even with like Verdansk back and them adding a couple POIs. It's just not the same. Even with when we mainly play Rebirth. I don't know, man. It's not the same, but every game's going to change and it should change, and we all change as well. So, luckily, he's been playing the shit out of Arc Raiders, and I'm glad that he has another game for him to play instead of faking his way through Call of Duty. Like he was on that big, he was playing the shit out of Arc again, but then he finally bought Arc Raiders, and he's really loving it, and that's awesome for him. So I just can't get into Arc Raiders. I don't know. I say that, and I haven't exactly given it a try. I just don't. The extraction shooter genre doesn't give me the vibes that I would want to invest time into. I could be wrong. We'll see with the lack of. I wouldn't say the lack of games. Obviously, there's a shitload of games that are coming out this year and everything like that. It's just there's not a lot that are catching my eye in a sense. So maybe after Gremlin 2, we will just continue those updates. I'll finish up Pokemon and then maybe get back to Spider-Man, and we'll see about Saros. Maybe I get Arc Raiders and play with him. I think No Rest for the Wicked had an update during my 7-week hiatus. It wasn't a big update. They're still pushing to 1.0. Hopefully it's just this year, and I can jump back in with Jordan Kiwi. Let's see. Power World 1.0 still not here. I bought Dino Crisis 1 and 2 because it went on sale because Capcom is a bunch of cunts. But haven't jumped into those, so maybe I'll get those. I really wanted to this year to maybe get back to Kingdom Hearts. It's just that's a lot of time. But one game I for sure want to play before the sequel comes out is Kena. When they showed the sequel off, it looked amazing. I've heard nothing but good things about the first Kena. I know Donkey loves the game. For whatever reason, I imagine it has something to do with story. So I do want to play Kena, and maybe I'll get that. Because I think I got it on PlayStation Plus, so I'll pull that out when we get a better rhythm and whatnot, and I can dive into it. It'd be awesome. Still waiting on that Dusk Fade game to get an announcement of the date. And then Beast of Reincarnation, the Game Freak people who makes Pokemon, that could be interesting. It's like summer. So, there's definitely some games that I want to play. It's just finding the time, especially this year alone, with the adjustments. It's going to be tough for me, so it's going to be a lot of backlogged type deals. There's not a Clair Obscure this year. Not that any of us knew what Clair Obscure was going to be, but for me personally, there's not a Clair Obscure right now. So I'm having to play other games, which is perfectly fine. We all got backlogs, and we need to find time to play them. So, but yeah, and then just some gaming news, I guess, that happened in the past few weeks, and I don't have everything. I just kind of Googled it, but obviously Xbox had a big shape up, or whatever you want to call it, in their company, losing Phil Spencer and I can't remember what her name was, them stepping down and leaving, and then this one lady stepping in, and she's something over AI, and she's been trying, honestly. She was coming out swinging, really, talking about we need to get back to being Xbox. They've changed their logo. She's already changed what Game Pass is, saying it was too expensive, lowered it from $30 to $22, which, it's still not what it was, which I think it was $19 for the Ultimate. But, $30 to $22 is pretty good. Now, they did remove Call of Duty from day one, which is probably why it went up to $30, and no one asked for them to do that. It was stupid. So, but I get it. Call of Duty sales over the past few have been down, and I'm sure Game Pass didn't make them a lot of money. So they need to come up with a different strategy. Don't put out shitty Call of Duties. I know it's the same game basically every single year, cycle between 3 studios. Or B, every other year. Like, we've all been talking about it, and I think a lot of people agree. Not the stupid-ass streaming people who only live by Call of Duties and think that every single Call of Duty is the next one that's going to be great. Having a 2-year gap between them, or a year gap between them, and they just focus on polish and DLCs, could be good, but who knows? Activision's a bunch of greedy cunts, and they're not going to do that. They're not going to listen to us. So they'll just continue to hopefully bleed until the franchise maybe ends up dying. I don't know if it'll ever will, but we can only hope. Let's see. WoW came out with their newest patch and newest raids. It was really odd how they came out with the raids. 3 different ones, and it was like 6, 2 and 1, or 1 and 2. I don't know. It was weird to watch the world first. But it was an awesome world first, to say the least. And then apparently this latest patch they came out with is broken the game, and they had to issue an apology. So, but that's one of the leaked, possible leaks, talking about the this newest Game Pass, is maybe you get to choose your path. Microsoft technically owns Blizzard, I think. Like, it's there. So, I think there was like 3 options. WoW could be in Game Pass, which, that would be awesome. I don't know if that would bump it up, because, like, I think that would bring in a shitload of more players if it was on Game Pass. If it also came to console, the purists would never like that. But and then I think Fallout 76 or Fallout in general was an option, and then I forget the third option. And this obviously was could have been fake and whatnot, but I think them offering different options, especially for like day one purchases for the Game Pass Ultimate, could be a great strategy. It does seem like the newest Call of Duties will come to Game Pass, but it's going to be probably like a year later. But there's also some rumor that the Call of Duty may still be in Game Pass, but it's going to be that $30 or more version, which, I know it's stupid to have so many versions of your subscription service, but at the same time, if people want to try it out, then why not? So, overall, I think she's making good moves with focusing on Xbox, and they want to bring it back to maybe exclusives, which I don't know at this point if they would be able to really compete at all anyways. Not that Sony's helping their case in some fashion, but and then they're doubling down on this Project Helix, which is like a PC hybrid, gonna have Steam on it, but if it's around $1,000 to $1,200, that's still insane. So, and then looks like there's some Nintendo Switch 2 rumors that Final Fantasy XIV will be coming. That'd be awesome for those people. Um, let's see what else. Uh, there's some rumors that apparently a Venom game was canceled from Insomniac, or it's been delayed or something due to the voice, like the original voice of Venom, him passing away. So let's see. Claire Obscure got another update, another free update. They bought like after their 1 year. Um, they've now sold over, I think it's 11 or 12 million copies, which is awesome. And then they just came out with a random update with some new hairstyles. Pragmata released. I think Capcom, oddly enough, has another good ass game on on hand. So they're gonna have 2 games possibly in the running for Game of the Year, which is awesome. We'll see how Onimusha does, but then there's Elden Ring. The movie is set to release in 2028, and they've already did some of the casting. They haven't talked about what roles those people are going to take, so I don't know how the freak they're going to do an Elden Ring movie. Like, do they focus on just some of those big ass characters? Because like you can't have a Tarnished who has, they don't talk. It's not going to bring in like a Zelda type thing, and also the stupid Zelda moving. I don't know how that's going to work either. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. We'll see if I go watch it. So what else we got? Resident Evil 9 is also doing well. And then, speaking of Clair Obscur, they won a BAFTA, like a couple awards at the BAFTA. So, like, they're the only game ever to win an award at the 5 major gaming award ceremonies, which is awesome. I'm so glad that they have done that. Let's see what's up and coming. If I could spell up and coming games. Let's see what we got. What we got. Mouse PI for Hire came out. I think it done okay. What is Masters of Albion? I feel like I was trying to keep up with that game. Masters of Albion. Oh, it's an online game. Is this that Oh, it's like a god game. Gotcha. Looks neat. I don't know if I played that. The new Diablo 4 expansion, I guess you would say, yeah, comes out 28th. And Saros is the 30th. Let's see. Forza comes out in May. I'm not a big Forza fan anyways. And then the Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tale, is one I am looking forward to, June 18th. So I'll definitely, hopefully, be playing that. Um, Beast of Reincarnation, August 4th. Yeah, hopefully I'll get to play that. Phantom Blade Zero, September. We'll see. Wolverine, 100% we'll be playing Wolverine. Comes out in September. GTA 6 still has a November release date. We'll see if that ends up happening. Let's see. Dust Fade still, yeah, I still need that one. Fable doesn't have a release date, but they swear it's coming out this year. Kenna Scars of Casamora. That's the expansion, and it is slated for 2026. So Orbitals, I wish I could play that, but then Star Wars Galactic Racer is supposed to come out this year too, so we'll see about that. And then, but yeah, those are kind of the games I'm keeping a watch on a little bit. So let's look at just getting an update on what you call Fantasy Critic. Let's see. So currently, Jordan is still first, Donkey second, the Cum Dumpster third, me fourth, Kiwi fifth, and Matt sixth. I mean, Jordan's gonna wipe the floor with us because of his auto picking bullshit. I wish he would have actually participated, but he's like killing it because he got freaking Pacopia with a 90. He got Monster Hunter Stories 3 with an 85. Agmana with an 86. Mugenics with an 89. Replaced with a 78. Dragon Quest 7 with an 83. And then he counterpicked Pokemon Champions and he got points for it. Who picked Saros? I did. Oh hell yeah. I'm about to get points, boys. Yeah, I ended up dropping, I forget what game, and then picked up Kenna. So, Romeo is dead, man, only 74. Super Meat Boy, only 76. Saurus is right now at 89, which is awesome. Reanimal got an 81. And then what's Donkey's dumbass name? Oh, so Donkey, of course, Neo 3, 85. Diablo 4, this expansion, 84. Cult of the Lamb, 86. Mouse PI for Hire, 81. Yakuza, 74. And Karen, 86. So, he's going to do good. But freaking Jordan still got Wolverine, which I'm sure will get at least an 85. Control Resident, mid 80s. Marvel Tokon might lose in points. Ace Combat, I don't know. I don't know if Witcher DLC 3 is real, so it may not end up happening. And then Kiwi got Resident Evil Requiem with an 89. So that, Code Vein 2, 73. Crimson Desert, only 78. And then Fatal Frame, 76. And he counterpicked Mugenics and lost 19 points. So, but yeah, Jordan's going to wipe the floor with this. Hopefully he ends up playing. And then one game I do want to possibly look out for is freaking what is it? Echoes of Fire? No. Um, no light. Light No Fire. Yes, Light No Fire by Hello Games. People who make No Man's Sky. I really wish they would hurry up and talk about this because I would love to play this game. It's basically No Man's Sky but on Earth, and it's that big, and you can do anything. But it's not like Crimson Desert. Like it's multiplayer and everything. Like it's survival RPG adventure. So I hope they talk about it this year, because I could see sinking some time into that game. So, but yeah, I'll probably end it there. It's been awesome to get back to doing an episode. Like I said, just trying to get back to normalcy and whatnot. I've been having an itch to do an episode. I just haven't had the energy to do so. There's a lot of games to play. I just got to find time. And, I want to be invested into them. So, going to finish up Fire Red. Maybe check out Soros. Maybe get back to Spider-Man 2. But definitely getting into Grounded 2 with Black Hammer. So, yeah, we'll try to get back to it. Even if it's just me. But yeah. Thank you all for listening. Continue to listening. Give us feedback if you can. And just follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Anchor. So, anyways, I'll go ahead and end it there. And it's been, been good to be back. So, you can continue to believe us. If you don't, peace.